What up, though? What up, though? Been a little minute. Been kind of busy handling business. I was busy handling business. So, you know, be back to it, back in the thick of shit, doing my shit, relaying my shit. Peace, Mr. Wooden. Peace, brother. Cracking. What's new around this bitch? Or should I say, what appears to be new around this bitch? Be cool. Be cool. What's up, man? What's up, big dog? Business media, peace, peace, peace. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Paul. I'm not even trying to pronounce the last. I'm not, your last name. It looks very fancy, Paul. It's very fancy. I can't do it, Paul. I ain't gonna even butcher your name like that, Paul. But I can say Paul though. I can say Paul. So have you ever like thought you got something? Like you thought you read something, you thought you got it, and then like you go back and read it like 6 months later, and then you realize you really didn't have it like that. Oh, it's the charmer. Okay, Les Charmant. Les Charmant. I was drinking one of my past lives. I'm lying. I don't even know. But I'm a kind of a suave type of nigga, so I can see myself speaking that type of language. Maybe I invented it. I don't put it past myself, motherfucker. I don't put it past myself. I probably invented that shit. I probably was sitting down bored, smoking an Atlantean joint. An Atlantean joint, I would imagine, is like a big joint that's blue and it like glows. I can imagine that's the type of weed I was smoking in Atlanta. I was smoking that good purple Atlantis shit. But that's the beautiful thing about this occult shit is that just when you just when you thought you have some sort of idea that you got it, it constantly continues to unfold. Shit is fucking amazing. Shit just continues to unfold. And that's saying Chakra, peace, peace, peace. What's the deal? What's the deal? So that's the thing. You can never be complacent in this shit. There's always something else to always something new to learn. And you are always like and then once you realize there was like it's just like there were so many different avenues that leads to this enlightenment shit. It's like you can't go wrong. It doesn't really matter. The only place and time where you can go wrong is when you decide to follow someone's idea as to where you should go. Once you start to just follow your own mind and you start to trust in yourself, and that confidence starts to build and grow, then everything seems to be right. You understand what I'm saying? Like you, this optimism just becomes a part of just who you are. It becomes a part of your reality. It becomes like a natural reaction and everything. You just be like, yeah, like nothing goes wrong for me. It's like everything just be like perfect. You dig? You look forward to the times that you're wrong. You know what I mean? You look forward to that. It's an opportunity to learn. You know, you don't shy away from being wrong. You're not afraid of saying that you don't know something, or if you're not afraid to openly say like, man, I just like I never heard of that before, or can you tell me more? You know, that's the thing. Shit never gets old to me. It's just constantly unfolding. Like I just started like studying like chakras again, like really getting deep into it. And recently, I've been doing the meditation technique of chakra spinning. For those who know, it's a technique that Sister Khadijah she she suggested a lot of times in her lectures, and she does meditation uh, like kind of like displays of showing you how like chakra spinning works. And I've been doing it for months and months and months, and not really understanding fully the type of impact it was having on me until recently. I started to realize just by the mere fact of me doing chakra spinning every morning or basically on a consistent basis, I started to realize that what it was doing for me, that my visualization started to get better and better. I started to see things easier. Things started to become more clear for me just by chakra spinning. What I started to realize is that the more that you do this chakra spinning, which is starting from the root chakra, and I believe she actually suggested chakra that's even below the root. I believe it's some sort of ground earth chakra, I believe. But anyway, you can start at the root chakra or the ground chakra, and you begin to spin these vortex energies in your mind. You want to begin with the first energy. We're just going to say, for the sake of whatever, we're going to start with the root chakra, which is the red chakra, right? So you take what I like to use these organite pyramids. All right. So when I'm spinning my red chakra, you don't necessarily have to have nothing in your hand because visualization is the key. This is what I do when I'm outside. Okay. So when I'm outside, I hold the red color in my hand, and I begin uh, to spin the color clockwise in front of me, in front of the root chakra, just in my mind. Red, red, red. And what I do is that I visualize everything that's red, whether it's the Chicago Bulls, the Cincinnati Reds, the motherfucking Strawberries, a red Corvette, whatever the fuck. I imagine houses made of red. Anything to amplify this color in order to increase in order to increase the visualization of it all. So you do the first color clockwise, and then on the back of yourself, you do the color counterclockwise. So they're kind of like a spinning wheel, a vortex. So you do that with each chakra. You go up the ladder and you do that to each chakra from the root, uh, sacral, which is orange, yellow solar, of course, heart chakra green or pink, throat chakra blue, third eye, brow chakra, indigo, and then ultraviolet for the crown chakra or white. You visualize those colors, the spinning chakras going up from the root all the way on up to the crown chakra. And then what you start to realize is that things will start to become more clear just based on you practicing this form of visualization for yourself. Constantly. Constantly. And then it also becomes much easier for you to tap into these particular chakras when you feel a need to balance these particular things. So let's say if you have an issue with your chakra, for instance, it won't take you nothing but a hot second to tap into that mode because you're used to visualizing it. So it's easy for you to tap into it, and it's easy for you to balance. So, and of course, you wanna take the time to do your research on each chakra and what and what each one represents and what emotions is attached to what, because you know what you need to balance your own shit. You know what I mean? And that's the key to escaping all of this shit. Is having the ability to have your shit balanced to a point to where you are attuned to shit that will help you actually start doing more God shit. Whatever that shit is to you, nigga. Only you know. For me, once I began to tap into to that side of myself, I just became more interested in knowing more about myself and everything that's connected to that. That's what's the most interesting thing to me at this moment. You know, once I began to probe who and what I am, that became the most interesting thing to me. Was that you did? So moving to that, because when your heart is sincere, you'll go back and you'll read the books that you once read. Because if you still feel stagnant in this lack of progression in your own spirituality, that's when you begin to probe and reflect on your own progression. And then you start to kind of judge that. And then you'll feel this sense of this dissatisfaction with where you at. And that's when your heart chakra will begin to open. You know what I'm saying? The heart chakra will begin to open because you start to sincerely just want to know this shit. Because you man, this can't be it. I'm still feeling at unease. I'm still feeling depressed sometimes or whatever the fuck is ailing you. Then you just be okay, then, obviously I need to get back into my studies. You understand what I'm saying? You be I got to get back into my studies because I shouldn't be feeling this way. And that's all about self-accountability. Self-accountability is willing to recognize when these emotions are attacking you. Kind of visualize, every time something hits you emotionally, imagine kind of somebody shooting you, right? But the average person, they are so used to going into these emotional war fields that they've become numb to the bullets. They only react to the bullets, but they don't necessarily take the time to look at the actual wounds. You understand what I'm saying? They're not really healing. They're just emotional bullets that's constantly peckering them every day, and they have no idea what's fucking them up. The idea is to, first of all, recognize the condition that's causing all this emotional bullshit, which is the war zone. Okay, damn, I'm in the fucking war zone. And we'll just say this is humanity, okay? We'll say humanity is the war zone. So you're sitting there okay, I'm in this fucking war zone. And I'm starting to realize that this war zone is not very comfortable. It's really fucking me up. And then you start to self-analyze and you look at yourself and you see you're just riddled with all these emotional bullet holes. You're fuck, I'm beginning shot out this motherfucker. All right, let me see who the fuck is shooting me. And then you start to realize that motherfuckers is shooting you. Just everything that's connected to your emotional lockdown, your family, some of your friends, the teachers who said you weren't gonna be shit, the police officers, politics, all that shit, media, social media, niggas stunting on you, like all that hot shit that be fucking niggas up in their self-esteem and their own personal self-worth. You start to look at that and realize that these motherfuckers that's shooting you ain't even worth it. You start to say, like, okay, what I need to do is put myself in another position that is not in this war zone. Let's just say, for instance, hold on, what's up? Huh? Oh, you here? Okay. Thanks, brother. That's my dog. And what the fuck was I talking about, nigga? If you know I'm a little toasted, I be smoking that good shit. Don't ask me what this is. We'll just call it good shit. How about we do that? So, alright. So the first thing you want to recognize is first is that you are in a war zone called humanity. You have to recognize that first and foremost that it is in fact a war zone, so you can start to see how it's affecting you. If you don't know it's a war zone, then it's just a natural way of life. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know no better. You don't know that you're in fire, that you're literally in hell. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't know that you're in hell, then you don't know that you're fucking burning. If you don't know that you're burning, then you can't even see or even begin to probe the idea as to what's even causing the fucking fire. You dig what I'm saying? So you have to first recognize that your condition is what is fucking you up. First, the condition. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you're growing up in the fucking project, a lot of times a person who decides to move out of the project, they've already conditioned their mind first to what it's like to live outside the project. Does that make sense? I'm not sitting on the project as if there's anything wrong or anything. This is just an analogy. You know what I'm saying? A person who lives in a project don't just move that day to the suburbs. No, they make it up in their mind first. Like I recognize that I'm in a position that is not conducive to how I want to raise my family. This doesn't say that case. We just say that. I want to live in a safer environment. So what he or she decides in their mind first, they say, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like a more suburban or a cleaner environment, let's just say, will be more fitting. So this person begins to see themselves in that condition. You understand what I'm saying? So understand, like, a lot of these people in this world are under the conditions, specifically in the Western culture. They're under this human condition. We'll just call it the project. Fuck it. We'll just call it the project. Humanity will call this shit the project. Most motherfuckers don't know that they're in the project. You understand? They don't know. You know what I'm saying? If you are born in prison, let's just say, for instance, if you were actually born in a federal penitentiary, and from the age of 0 to fucking 21, that is where you are. That's all you know. Eat, sleep, shit it, prison. From age 0 to 21. So you're totally and completely indoctrinated by prison. The damn lawnmower is cutting the grass and shit. I'm just moved into this spot, and the grass is fucked up. Hold on, let me move, y'all. I'm gonna move, y'all. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. I'm back. Damn. Still got a few of y'all niggas in here. Y'all some good people. Y'all are very nice. You guys are very nice. Whoever decides to watch the replay, I guess they can fast forward past this shit. Because that's exactly what the fuck I would do. If I was watching this shit on a replay, I would skip past all that motherfucking shit. Zip. So Yeah, it's loud as fuck. He I don't know what he was talking about, some yard shit. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. Had to do some yard work. I was too high for that shit. Too high, man. Come on, man. But anyways, so check it. Yeah, I look like a midget now, don't I? I look like I'm too short for my own refrigerator. So dig. So if you are born in a prison, who said this fucking door? If you are born in a prison, imagine from the age of 0 to 21, and that's all you've ever fucking known, and you've been completely institutionalized without even. That's not even. You're more than institutionalized. That's your fucking world. You understand what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, you're thrusted out into, let's just say, the normal world. That motherfucker can't function until they first and foremost realize that they was in a prison first. You understand what I'm saying? How can a person even begin to realize consciousness if they can't even realize that they are in a fucking prison that's indoctrinated them with a human idea and way of thinking? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to the motherfucker. That's hard. You are born in a prison. You're born in prison. You have to realize that you are in prison. That's the key. Then you can start to ponder what it's like to be outside of this prison mentality, so to speak, and this prison culture, this prison way of thinking, this prison way of living. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard for motherfuckers to see that shit. You understand? In prison, them motherfuckers got jobs. They got jobs in prison. Think about that. Think about that. They have jobs in prison, just like motherfuckers have that in normal civilian population. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all a part of the lockdown. That's all part of the lockdown. Because if you grew up in a prison and let's say your job was the fucking cook, that you will identify yourself as a cook, and that will be a sense of importance to you. And you will hold on to that as an idea of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? It's hard to break from that mentality. It's hard to break from that. Like, dig what I'm saying. Dig what I'm saying. Dig. You got to recognize that you are in prison. That's the fucking key. If you can't see that you are in prison, then you really can't see nothing else. You would just be a nigga trying to survive in population. Let's just say. I don't know all the prison lingo terms. Saka said, pass the blunt. I would if you was here. I don't mind passing the blunt. My Ashley Furniture came through and delivered our beds. I think it was, what was that shit? What's today? Friday? Yesterday. They finally delivered our beds, so we got our beds, right? So them two niggas, you know, they working like real fucking hard, getting our beds in here. They quick with it. So I'm outside, you know what I'm saying, taking a break. And I just hear them niggas just sniffing upstairs. Like, what is that smell? What is that lovely, lovely smell? And then when they came downstairs, and you know they see me holding the slip, I said, "Oh, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, you know, did you need a break today?" And they was very happy. They was much obliged, much obliged. Cause I smoke nothing but you know, I don't know. Like pretty like I'm not bougie with the weed, but I try to get the best shit I can get. I try to get the best shit I can get. I don't like to get nothing else less than like good shit. I'm just waiting on this motherfucker to get done with the backyard so I can go back outside. That's what I'm really doing right now. I'm tired of standing up and I want to go back outside on the patio and relax. Talk some more shit. Some conscious people are still in prison. Or I should say, because we're all in prison. Let me say that. We're all in prison, which is just what this place is. But what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of conscious folks that still have a prison mentality, if that makes any sense. There is still a lot of institutionalized conscious niggas. You understand what I'm saying? It's like them niggas that's in prison that be like kicking that knowledge. You know them niggas? Like conscious niggas is no different than them niggas. It's the same shit. It's the same motherfucking shit. There are institutionalized human ass conscious niggas out here. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of conscious folks continuing to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm like seeing that all the time. Like getting into arguments about shit that don't even fucking matter. That's not even worth your time. Once you start to take accountability for recognizing how shit fucks you up on a mental and a spiritual level, and you start to like remove all this bullshit, and you start to really analyze yourself, like you will develop a habit of doing that all the fucking time with everything. You will start to weigh everything naturally. Your subconscious mind will just naturally weigh shit in a manner of like, is it even worth your energy? And it just automatically you just like, no, it's not. And then you just be like always just a cool nigga to motherfuckers. Like I don't have to raise my voice about shit. Like I don't feel it, like I would say it would really take a lot to get me there. You understand? Like it would take me a lot to get there. Like angry, upset. You understand what I'm saying? Like I get agitated and irritated, and that's enough. That's to me. I lend that enough energy. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't even like feeling agitated and irritated. I can't stand that. And I recognize within me how easily I can be irritated. So once I realized how easily I could be irritated, I started to look at what actually irritates me, and I started to realize how small of me it was to allow such things to irritate me. Then I started to outgrow that shit. You start to outgrow things when you become tired, when you become sick and fucking tired of allowing shit to affect you. Once you become sick and tired of allowing shit to affect you, you start to do some other shit, some new shit, like following your first mind, by trying to truly study what the mind is and how it works. As you begin to study how the mind works and apply it to your own work, you will see the parallels. You will start to see things coming from different angles. You will see that there is more to life than a jab. There's actually hooks and uppercuts, body punches. You understand what I'm saying? And then you start saying, well, fuck. You know what I'm saying? I got legs too. I can kick a motherfucker with a roundhouse. You start to expand start to expand. You start to really become the god of yourself. You just really like analyze every fucking thing you do, not on a minute detail, but just in a sense of just of analysis. And that is just a point in a phase of life, because you will eventually get to a point to where you'll get to a point to where now that your mindset is conducive to this spiritual reality, your lifestyle will reflect that. It will reflect that peaceful reality. So you really it will become something that is kind of automatic. So once it's like kind of automatic in your life, you start to want to, then it frees your mind up to want to, like, you will want to get back to your studies. You will want to, that's to me, that's one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced, was that recognition and recognizing, like, I need to study more. I really don't have this shit. You understand what I'm saying? When I got into consciousness, I believe it was 2016 or occult science. I was introduced to occult science and metaphysics and things of that nature in 2016. And like really like into the shit, doing this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Took Brother Panic's class. You understand what I'm saying? Reading the books, doing all that hot shit. This shit was it was a slow unfolding to get to that realization. Although I never really stopped studying. Even when I wasn't reading books, I was always watching a lecture or something like that. But like studying per se, when it comes to books, that's a bit more. It can be a bit more intimate to your personal growth. Let's just say that your personal growth, because lectures sometimes can only get you so far personally. Now everybody is different. I would say that's how it was for me. Like, I used to watch lectures so much, I began to start to realize how much I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. Based on me recognizing that I didn't know a lot of what the fuck they were talking about. And remember, I was around Brother Panic. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Bobby shit, all the hot scholars and all that shit. I'm watching this shit. And I started to realize about a year ago, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the date exactly, but I started to realize within myself that as I'm watching these lectures, they are saying a lot of shit that I don't even fucking get. So once I realized that they're saying a lot of shit that I don't get, I started to understand that I need to get back to my fucking study. Because I don't like not knowing shit. I don't like when they say something that I just don't get or understand at that moment. I have to figure this shit out. I have to figure this shit out. It's like a must for me. It's like a fucking must. Like when Bobby explains something and he breaks something particular down, and I don't like, like there have been moments where I doubted what he said, or I didn't believe it, knowing that he is coming from a place of extreme study and scholarship and sincerity. He has me knowing and understanding his heart, let's just say. There were times where he would say certain shit where I just didn't absolutely fucking believe him. I had to come to the conclusion within myself that perhaps maybe I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So I need to get into my own work. So that's when shit started to actually expand for me. That shit started to expand for me once I started getting into my own work. I started to restudy this shit that I read before, that I heard before. Then you read. So this is the process for me. I heard them say this shit in a lecture. I go actually read on some of the shit that they say the first time. Then I go back and listen to the shit again as I'm reading and all this and that and the third, only to come to find out eventually after you put the books down because you think you kind of hot shit because you've been reading for like 3-4 years and your knowledge is actually starting to get nicer. So you start to think you can get to a point in consciousness when you start to think you hot shit because you can really kind of flex on a motherfucker intellectually. You understand what I'm saying? You can debate niggas and fuck them up. Let's just say you get to that kind of point in your life. But then if you're really like keeping it 100 with yourself, you will understand that that's a major ceiling and that's a rather low ceiling to be on. That's a low ceiling to be on. To get to a point of consciousness to where it's only aroused your intellect. You understand what I'm saying? That was tiresome to me. That wasn't enough for me personally. It wasn't enough for me personally. I wanted to get what the fuck they were talking about. I wanted to experience what they were experiencing. I wanted to actually start to see these. I wanted to see these things in myself. You know, I wanted to see different dimensions, different levels, different realms. Whatever is accessible to my black ass mind, I didn't want to be left out. You understand what I'm saying? So it started to become personal to me to get my weight up, let's just say. And the only thing that I can do is give you my experience. But personally speaking, I am in no position really to be trying to teach anybody anything. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing that I can do is give you my experience and perhaps you can practice leverage on some of the shit that I've done. You know. But I have a lot more work to do before I can, let's just say, be in that path of a teacher. Because for me personally, I just can't see myself doing anything else. You understand what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's just the most noble thing I can come up with. You know, it's kind of just in me. But I'm not rushing the process, and I'm open-minded to the fact that perhaps it may unfold into something completely different. So I'm not caught up in the glamour or this idea of being anybody's fucking teacher, because it can change tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? I just know that I have this ability to convey this shit on a certain level to where motherfuckers can understand and get where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see that. I can sit and I can talk with a person who don't really know shit about consciousness, and I can recognize within myself I have the ability to at least get them thinking. You understand? Because I'm coming from a place truly of compassion and of love. You understand what I'm saying? Which is something I've mulled over in my heart over and over and over again, to ensure that I'm holding myself accountable, that I'm just not out here just to be hearing myself fucking speak and talk. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what this shit is about for me. I just had a yearning to do this shit. Just a yearning. You know, like I you know, the more I thought about it and the more that I didn't do it, the more I began to just feel more and more sick. I started to realize it was my higher self just oozing, just begging to get the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying? So when I finally posted and did my first video, that was a huge breakthrough just for me personally, because it was so difficult just to even do that. Just to put myself on camera like that. You understand? Like, that shit is hard as fuck for me. Okay. Oh, I think he's gone. Hold on, nigga. Hold on, nigga. I definitely need to take a hit of the split. Oh, we got the yard looking nice. Y'all, it's nice, kid. All right, niggers. Oh, I learned this from the brother Panic. Tiger Bomb. You ever used this before? Tiger Bomb. Just a little bit of it. I personally use a little. This is like a little dab. Is it right here in your third eye? That on doing your meditations and watch your visualization unfold. It can help you get a bit clearer. Open up that third eye, nigga. Can't stand with the ass, you know. Can't stand fucking ass. No why. We are. Hope y'all can see it. But yeah, it's pointless. It's pointless trying to preach to niggas. You be wasting your breath. It's hard to find a motherfucker who realizes that they're not in prison. That's just at that level. It's hard to even find a motherfucker who is actually looking out the window of the prison wall. It's hard to even find a motherfucker who even recognizes that there's actually windows in the prison. You dig? It's hard. It's hard to find a person who knows any motherfucking thing about anything. You dig? So it's like, yo, you're wasting your breath trying to convince anybody of anything. And what you see a lot of times is people trying to convince other motherfuckers when they themselves don't even know they in fucking prison. That shit is wild to me. So it's like lockdowns within lockdowns within lockdowns. You understand what I'm saying? To associate yourself to groups, like when you really think about it, like realize like how much you've been indoctrinated by so many brands that you associate yourself with, the brands that you like. You get what I'm saying? Oh, let me read some of these comments. I'm sitting here just talking shit. They can't deal with the chaos realm. Hell no. They can't deal with the chaos realm. See, the thing is that they can deal with it, but fuck, you just gotta know. You just gotta want to know. And as simple as it sounds, the chaos realm is I don't know what the fuck it is in detail, but I do know that the mindset that you would have to have is not a human one. I know that much. You can't go in that bitch with a human mindset because if that was it, we would already be there. Because there's plenty of motherfucking humans around with a human mindset. So the fuck, motherfuckers ain't in it. So that means that humanity ain't in it. So if humanity ain't in it, that means that there's something outside of that shit, and that's where I want to fucking be, so I can get where the fuck I need to be. It's really that simple. Just see that you're in a fucking prison so you can try to figure out ways to get the fuck out. And while you're in the prison, it will behoove you to do as much studying as possible about the outside world before you thrust your ass out there. I mean, you can learn on the go. And it's shit. There's many. It's plenty of ways. It's shit. It's a million ways to skin a cat. I would prefer just to be a bit more prepared with my shit. So when I go out, I already know how to get bitches. You dig what I'm saying? I'm just not out there like, oh, I've been in prison this whole time, so I don't even know what a bitch is. I don't even know how to even begin to even approach her. Now I prefer to know when I get out, so I can get me a bitch because I gotta have that in this lifetime and in that and in the next round. Let me see. You have an email address? Yep. It's in my about. If you go to my about on my YouTube channel, it's in there. I can't remember right now. I think it's like Kenny underscore Mansa or Kenny Mansa 85, something like that. It's like brand new. Let's see, T Will. See Frederick, hold on, give me 1 second, T Will. Frederick Hoagland, Kenny Mansa, is that you? Yeah, it's me, brother. My black ass. In the motherfucking flesh. Let me see, okay, T Will said, hey, so I had a question about what did you let's see, what you did with your job you got. Oh, you basically saying, well, oh, you want to know the status update on my job. So on April 1st, ironically, April 1st was the day that I left the job. You did. I left the job April 1st because once I got the job, it was the first time I realized that I didn't want to go any higher in the corporate world. I used to have this like ambition to be like CEO. I had that like that type of ambition. Like, man, I want to run shit. I want to be the CEO of Best Buy or wherever the fuck I was working at the time. That was like my mindset. I had like this false like projections of myself to reach this stupid ass goal that was ultimately meaningless, which would have ultimately strayed me from actually doing this path as far as like, getting to know self. You dig what I'm saying? Like everything that happened in my life was to get me to this point. Like I failed the seventh grade twice, and then I dropped out of high school in the ninth grade. Now, had I had been an A fucking student and excelled in school and became a Rhodes Scholar and went to Princeton or Harvard or Yale and then got a master's degree in law and or a PhD in physics, whatever the fuck I would have ended up doing, I would have likely gotten locked under that shit. And even if I did become conscious, I would have used it likely for some other shit. It's very quite possible. So when you start to reflect on your life, you start to realize just how remarkable the shit is to the point of realization. You dig what I'm saying? So once I got that job piece, what happened was, as I was working it, I started to realize my lack of effort was based on me just not being, I was no longer happy. I wasn't happy with it. I was happy once I got it. It was a monumental achievement, you know what I'm saying, achieving that level of job based on my background. You know what I'm saying? Like failing the seventh grade twice, dropping out of high school in the ninth grade, and ending up with a six-figure gig. You dig what I'm saying? That requires a high school diploma. That requires a college degree. That requires sales experience and all kind of different types of experiences that I didn't possess. The only thing I had was my own personal ingenuity. You dig what I'm saying? And that was what ultimately that was what got me through. But that wasn't enough for me to sustain the job. You understand what I'm saying? It was hard for me to put effort into something that I ultimately knew that wasn't for me. So I worked it for like, shit, I want to say like 7, 8 months. I worked it for like 7, 8 months, and shit, like April 1st came, COVID had shut shit down, and for me it was just like perfect timing. You understand what I'm saying? Perfect timing. It was just time to go. You understand? I had to let that go so I can do something else, let something else unfold. You understand what I'm saying? And that can be very scary when you start thinking about shit as far as like finances and things of that nature. But I promise you, if you are sincere about this work, as far as cultivating yourself, getting to know yourself, studying things of the mind, and studying things of anything that can help you progress and move forward in this shit. It will take care of itself. It will take care of itself. It's amazing. I can't explain it. But when you pursue this shit will take care of you. And then eventually, if you haven't discovered it already, you'll start to see why you came here. That will start to unfold, and then that will naturally sustain. Man, all right, let me see if I can. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Let me read some more shit. Okay, business media. There's so much to study. Yeah, it's never ending, and that's beautiful. That's what it's all about. Like if you created a world for yourself, would you want a world? Would you rather have a world that constantly evolves and unfolds? You understand what I'm saying? Rather than a world that's complacent and stagnant and not really progressing. You know, you want to constantly be growing and knowing shit. I don't know about you, but every time I hit the joint, I want each puff to get better than the last. That's what I want. Have you ever watched American Gods? If so, thought. If not, check out the scene with Atlanta Jones. I think I've seen a clip or two. I watched the first season. Um, I watched the first season, but I watched it when it first came out, though, a few years back. I had to go back and watch it again to give like a real answer to it. Because I was thinking different things, so I can't really give a real thought on it. But from some of the short clips that I've seen, he seemed to be saying some hot fire, powerful shit. That's what it looked like to me. What was the guy? What guy did he represent? Was he a leg bar in American Gods? Was he a leg bar? Was he like I think he was like a leg bar, right? And his homeboy was Anubis, if I'm not mistaken. You see love and elevation to right and always knowing you have potential and more. Yeah. But it's hard to see that you got potential when and that's it. He almost done, y'all. He almost done. All right. So back to love and elevation, right? And always knowing you have potential and more. So that's the thing. Like to even get to the point of knowing that you have more potential. Like how you even get a motherfucker to even see that? I guess you can use some sort of symbolism, and say that hey, Barack Obama is president. Perhaps one day that you can do that. But it's like a person, I was gonna say a motherfucker. Boy, I be cussing like a sailor. See, the thing is this, love and elevation. This is the thing. A person has to become dissatisfied with the idea of what humanity has deemed as success. A person has to become dissatisfied with the fact that being a CEO is enough. They have to become dissatisfied that being a doctor is enough. They have to become dissatisfied that being a politician is enough. You understand what I'm saying? They have to become dissatisfied that being a housewife is enough. You understand what I'm saying? They have to become dissatisfied that being a janitor is enough, a librarian, whatever the fuck. You have to be dissatisfied with these ideas of what humanity dictates as these forms of success. So you can remove this. You can remove that as an idea of a standard. Let's just say of what potential is. So you can really see what potential really is. You understand what I'm saying? Like you like, damn. If I can be more than a fucking president of the United States, then damn, what really is potential? You start to see yourself as fucking limitless. You dig? Hold on, y'all. I gotta go get my Mac charger. He's about to fall asleep on your ass. So this bitch will fall asleep. Boom. Whew. Got it on the just in time. Y'all just don't know. This MacBook will go to sleep on your ass. If you don't put that bitch on a charger. Alright. You gotta see yourself as limitless. The only way you can see yourself as motherfucking limitless is when you're no longer satisfied with what humanity has to motherfucking offer. And when I did that, I just blew ashes every motherfucking way. Fuck it. You dig? Chakra off path to send a ninth grade dropout returned from my vacation in 2016. Hell yeah. Something about that ninth year, huh? The number of completion. Ho, 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 ho. Dun, dun, dun. I got everything I needed out that bitch. It was done. I was done with school, son. Got the fuck out. Said T Will said, she said, high as hell, man, I miss the days. And yes, I'm right there. But I'm scared because I followed my feeling before I got lazy. Yeah, man. You can't be satisfied, T. You can't be satisfied in that shit. And I know it's hard because you got bills. You dig what I'm saying? You got shit to do. You understand what I'm saying? Perhaps you got a family to look after or whatever the fuck. Just keeping your own fucking lights on, nigga. That's a motherfucking heavy duty. When your weed jar gets low, nigga, that feeling? Nigga, that feeling of your weed jar getting low, nigga, you just feel hit. You just be like, fuck. Like, fuck, the weed getting low, nigga. You be trying to figure out what is next. When the weed get low around this motherfucker, which is rare, somehow, some way, it's a, I don't know what the fuck. Sometimes shit just happens to where you realize the weed is low. It'll be at the wrong time of the night. All your little plugs are sleep. Oh, nigga, you hit for the day. Or if it's like a really super stormy day, no one wants to drive in that shit. But you ain't got no weed, nigga. Hit. You be trying to figure out what the fuck you gonna do. So what I do when times like that, when weed is low, I just be like, fuck it, what can I do? I don't even let this shit affect me no more. I just feel like I'm hit. I tell my lady, hey baby, we hit. We almost out. We just start laughing. That's all we can do is motherfucking laugh. Mm-hmm. So somebody trying to put a cap on you. So similar to you, I became dissatisfied with being told or needing a degree to do some simple shit for real. Because you realize once I got that position, that nice little job, I realized that it really wasn't nothing to it. It doesn't require all that fancy shit to do that. They could have took any nigga and trained that nigga. Really, they could train anybody to do what I was doing. But humanity is addicted to the social clubs and hoops and loops because how the demiurge works is that it does pretty much almost anything to feel like it's on top of things. So if I'm in a six figure position, I can put myself in the mindset of thinking like, well, the average woman wants a nigga, and even the average nigga wants a six figure paying job. But I know the average nigga, even with a college degree, don't even get paid six figures. I can put myself in a mindset of like maybe I'm a little special now. I'm a little elite. You dig what I'm saying? I'm different now. You can get under that particular even you can even get even trapped in that low level of thinking. So so trying to imagine even higher concepts is damn near fucking impossible. You understand what I'm saying? If you can be locked down under that mindset of just having this idea of saying, well, since I make more money than you, that I'm better than you, and really believe that, that's a lockdown in itself. How can you even begin to conceive higher shit if you allow that to even fuck you up? You dig what I'm saying? You can't allow that shit to fuck you up. Thinking you hot shit. Thinking you hot shit will keep you in shit. Mainly your own. I was a red than a motherfucker, boy. It's that time again. It's that time again, boys. Woo! Boy, I gotta find me a new barber around this bitch. That's one of the hardest tasks a nigga ever has to go through. Man, finding a good barber is so motherfucking hard. Nigga. Fuck. And I'm so fucking picky about who I let cut my head. Like when I walk in a barber shop, I walk in that bitch slow. You understand what I'm saying? Cause goddamn do these niggas be thirsty, boy. Them barbers be thirsty, nigga. You can't even look these niggas in the eye. It's kinda like a hoe on a stroll who ain't got no pimp, and the pimp is strolling by. He looking at her like trying to catch her attention. She don't want to catch his eye because she knows if she look, she might be subject to sit in his seat. And then they be looking so motherfucking pitiful, like, cause you gotta tell them niggas like, nah, son, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta tell them niggas straight up, like, nigga, you understand? Like, you got an Instagram, nigga? Like, nigga, it's 2020, nigga. If you ain't got no Instagram, I gotta see what the fuck you working with. Pause. You say that slow. Pause. But then I gotta see what the fuck is going on. Cause I can't have my shit up here. My line right here and shit all fucked up. He giving me a Gumby looking like motherfucking Bobby Brown, and I even asked for that shit. I want to go do this. I don't do y'all that. Nobody. Nobody. I don't do y'all that. I play a motherfucker.
All right, brother, that'll complete us, okay?
All right, big dog. Text me your cash app.
Yeah, it's the what's on the card.
It's on the card.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second.
You got my card. It's Mark Lowe. Give my phone number.
Marking on the phone number.
Yeah, this is Zale.
Oh, I just put the phone in there.
Right. You should do that, but just put it's Mark Lowe.
All right, give me.
Do you got bedrooms downstairs?
Bedrooms downstairs? No.
All upstairs.
Yep.
4 rooms.
Three.
2 baths.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Yep.
All right, my man. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Next time you need me, man, just give me a ball.
No doubt.
Normally goes 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right, and I keep it that price is at that right there. And every time I come, I put a little affinities in it because that means greedy list on what a star is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put round up on it.
Now.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We'll be hitting you up, man. Appreciate
Man, it's all good, dude.
you. No doubt. All right. Hold on. Let me pay the brother. Let me pay the okay. Let me pay the brother. Because I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Cause like now. This shit ain't popping up. Come on. All right. All right. Y'all, hey, motherfucker, I live a regular life. A regular life. Yeah, payment couldn't be sent. I'm gonna have to hit them up later. Yeah, payment couldn't be sent. I don't know why the fuck. But yeah, ain't gonna be no editing in this shit. This shit is gonna be fucked up just how it is. Fuck it. All right, let's see what the comment. Let's look at it like that. Which one? Word. Any book recommendations? Yeah, man. I mean, shit. It's plenty of books to get into. The best thing I suggest you do is look up like Brother Panic's book list on YouTube. He has an assortment of books that he recommends that can and any one of them can touch you in a particular way that can lead you down whatever path you know that you're going down. You did. And Bobby Hemmett, and just listen to any lecture of his. He will always spew out a book that's in connection or in reference to whatever he's speaking on, or even if he's just in a tangent, whatever the fuck. He's always giving out dope ass books. You know what I'm saying? So watch that shit and you come across this shit. I mean, like personally, I have to go look and see what books I have. One day, what I do, what I do is I may do like a little mini video of the current books that I have so far. One of the most important books for sure is Hidden Power by Robert Van Fleet. This book here, I got it when it first came out. If you don't have it, The Origins of Occult Civilization by the Brother Panic, Volume 1, Hollywood. I cracked this shit open again. This shit is, it's as if I've never fucking read it. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. That's like this book alone can just help you. It can help put you in a position of where you're trying to go spiritually. Wherever it is that you're trying to go spiritually, this can help at least get you in the mindset, at least. But it's full of fucking breakthroughs, man. If any of y'all ever read it, The Origins of Occult Civilization, Volume 1, Hollywood, Brother Panic. fire, fire. It goes through so much shit in detail. And what I like about it is that it just gets to the meat of shit. He explains it for those who perhaps may be new to certain information. He gives you information in it that's very practical, and then he hits you with the point like, bam. And that's what I'm about. I like to get to the meat of the information. I like to get to it. So my intention can be met. You dig what I'm saying? So my intention can be met. One of the main ideas of being conscious, and the reason why you're conscious is to put yourself in a position where you have the ability to witness your unfoldment. That's what it's about. Witnessing yourself wake up. That's what it's about. I can look at my life and I can see all this. I can see the steps. You know? I can see how I was over sexualized early. You understand what I'm saying? Then I can see how that curtailed my habits when it comes to women, or when it came to women, whatever the fuck. You understand what I'm saying? Like when it came to girls and shit like that, like imagine like I've been getting like touched on by girls like since I was like 3. You understand what I'm saying? I remember going to a neighbor's house just for fun, and the girls was the ones initiating this shit. I was like 5. It was like 8 and 9. They was the ones kicking this shit off. In my young mind, I'm thinking this is how shit is supposed to be. You get around girls, hey, what up? You understand? Like you start to like expect the shit to some degree. Like expect it in a sense of like this is just how it is. You get around girls and you get to know them, and then y'all okay, let's start touching on shit. You get what I'm saying? But then once you start to look at your relationship as an adult, and then you start to look at some of the failures and some of the success. You start to looking at the causes and effects of both the failures and success. You start to hold yourself accountable for the shit that you did that caused the shit to be completely fucked up, and you sincerely hold yourself to that. And then you also be humble to all the shit that makes you great, and you equally give that same amount of attention to things that make you great as well, because that helps towards your confidence in yourself. Confidence is very, very important in this spiritual shit. You gotta have confidence. You gotta know that you know, baby. You understand what I'm saying? Even when that doubt and Thomas tries to creep in, you have the tools to combat it. You understand what I'm saying? But that doubt and Thomas, that part of your ego that tries to seep in and throw you off your path. You'll be more well equipped to deal with that type of shit that goes on inside of you, which is the emotion that you create. You try to make that window smaller for that thought to get into your mind. If not totally bury it and eradicate it in your subconscious. But it's a constant thing. You have to be working on this thing constantly. Because it will always try to rear its ugly head. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the Hydra. You know what I'm saying? Cut one head off, another will come. Or two comes in its place. You know what I'm saying? You'll learn to equip your mind with certain tools and practices based on your own work and your own meditations and what you develop for yourself. You'll learn how to combat this shit. Then nothing will seem to bother you after a while. Nothing will seem to bother you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing really bothers me. Like it's just you know what I'm saying. Like I'm chill all the time. I'm chill all the time. I recognize within my own ego how critical I was just even of my own image. Just putting myself in a position to where my image could even be fucking judged. You understand what I'm saying? This is a war against ego. You understand what I'm saying? But not in a sense of like I look at it like it's totally responsible for like my downfall. But it played a big part in the shit that was fucking me up. The idea is to learn how to put the ego in its proper place. I mean, you can use it for when you for things you want to use it for. You know what I'm saying? You put the ego in its right place, it just allows so much other shit to get in. You understand what I'm saying? Like the ego, it can be like this. It can be like that cog that's like at the bottom of the whirlpool. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's how small the ego is. All you have to do is have the will, the fortitude to jump in the whirlpool, swim down there, which is gonna take some fucking work. And you gotta be willing to go against the currents of shit, the shit that you're battling, in order to make your way down to that cog and you realize like, oh, that's all the fuck it is. Oh, let me unplug that shit. Ooka. And then you realize what you really are. You know what I'm saying? You are the water. Now you're in a position to control it, just going down that black hole to where you're really supposed to be at, baby. Baby. What y'all talking about in the comments? Oh, be like water. Yeah, literally. Literally. Be like water. I've been getting a lot of questions on my soulmate video too. People been hitting me up about that damn soulmate video. Motherfuckers talking, boy, this relationship shit, boy. That's hard for niggas. Hard for women. Hard, 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 hard. But it's so easy. It's so hard, but it's so easy. Because I can tell you the solution, but you're going to look at it as so easy that it's hard. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to look at it as so easy that it's hard. And 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 in order to thrive in a successful relationship, it's going to require two major things. It's going to require number one, and more importantly, which is really the most important thing, really, is just self love, unconditional love for yourself. That's number one. You gotta have unconditional love for yourself, and that's really the key to it. If you have unconditional love for yourself, then it's easy to. It becomes much more easier and feasible to accept the flaws in your soulmate. It doesn't even. It doesn't. It's not really nothing to you in the grand scheme of things. Of course, you're a human. You're still having a human experience. There will be times where your soulmate will get on your nerves sometimes. It's still fucking human. It happens. But it would no longer be the monster that it would grow into once when you was in your ego about shit. You understand what I'm saying? When you're in your ego about shit, you know, it's only going to argue and to fight and put itself in a position to where it wins, so it can survive. So it tends to want to indoctrinate motherfuckers. That's what the ego want to do in a relationship. It wants to indoctrinate people. You want to indoctrinate a motherfucker to your idea of what they should be. And when in reality, you have to recognize that it is your ego that believes that it is in a position to where it can control anyone in that manner, especially that manner. That's a trick of the ego. It's just another lockdown. It's just another form of lockdown. Thinking you run a motherfucker. Thinking somebody owes you a itinerary of what the fuck they doing. The power of letting go and just allowing your person that you're with just to be totally free. It's just fucking priceless. The feeling of it is priceless. Because what you're doing is that you're allowing yourself and you're allowing your partner to be in a position where you can unfold uninhibited by each other. You're helping each other progress. It's really a beautiful fucking thing. You get what I'm saying? Just be more concerned about what makes your life happy. What will make your life happy will be based on you recognizing how can I say you started to begin to recognize and allowing your true self to unfold. Because sometimes you don't really know what it is that you like sometimes or what you're truly into. Because you've been performing under this false perception of yourself for so long. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of hard to see yourself as more. But when you begin to let go and relieve yourself of this idea, of this false perception, then you start to realize that you perhaps are into things or more accepting to things that you didn't know that you could even conceive of once upon a time in your life. You get what I'm saying? One of the things for me is that I just started to slowly but surely release my idea and opinion. I started to become disinterested in my opinion of shit. And it's to a level, to a large degree, to a point to where it doesn't affect me emotionally. And since it doesn't affect me emotionally, I don't care to project my opinion or idea on whatever particular subject I have an idea of opinion of on anyone else. And I deal with it, whatever it is, eternally. Once you start to deal with things eternally, you start to see just how big you are. Like how big your mind is, and then how small your humanity is, let's just say. And then you start to not give a fuck about how people live, how people do, however they do. You understand what I'm saying? You will relieve yourself of that. It's just so important, man. That's important, yo. That is so important. That's a huge part of chakra work. You dig what I'm saying? Start to really analyze your intention when it comes to chakra work. Start to reanalyze it, and then go back to it. If I can suggest anything, definitely suggest that. Get back into that chakra work. You start to remove yourself from dumb shit. Shit just be dumb. Shit be so fucking dumb, you don't even give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? My idea of happiness down this motherfucker is just being peaceful. You understand what I'm saying? As a byproduct of that simple mindset, things just became beautiful around me. Things become beautiful around me. Like I don't want for anything. Like it's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. And I don't want for anything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm loved by everyone in the house, and I reciprocate that. It's not even hard. It's like it's not something that I have to. It's not a muscle I need to flex. It's natural. You understand what I'm saying? It's fucking amazing. I don't have a need. Like I don't have a need to control my lady. You understand what I'm saying? Like she can do what she wants, however she wants. Man. She's free. She's fucking God. I don't even. I would use. Only time I use goddess is on the is maybe perhaps sometimes for the sake of maybe depicting a particular female deity. But for me, man, like to me, there's no difference. She's God. To me. She's God. That alone, me knowing that and understanding that, that's more than enough for me to know that there is just nothing in me that feels the need to project my idea of what I think she should be. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to be what she wants to be. Whatever makes her fucking happy, however she wants to do it. I just support it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I just support her. I just support what she wants to do. How she wants to do shit. I don't give a fuck. As long as she's happy, there is nothing in me that feels the need to be disruptive. I don't feel the need to shake shit up just for the sake of I'm gonna insist on some bullshit. Like you just feel like what the fuck that shit is stupid. I always want peace. Cool, chill. Every day. What the fuck? Why anything less than that is like that should don't even it don't even exist in my reality anymore. Let me see. Any thoughts on George Flood? Flood, I said Flood. Oh, I'm high. Floyd. I always called it Brother Flood. I don't know why. So George Floyd. All right, this is my honest thoughts on George Floyd, and it's not about the brother per se. It's just about what he symbolizes and what he represents as a tool that was used for another ritual. My thing is this: for lack of a better way of saying it, a true conscious person is not affected by the George Floyd shit. I'm just gonna keep it 100 because the idea is this. This is this for me. Like for me, it's like this. It's like I ignore all of that shit. I look at it and I see it and I observe it, but I'm not emotionally invested in it, so I truly don't give a fuck. Only thing I can do is I look at it for what it is, which is a fucking ritual, and I see that a black man is in a fucked up position, which I have compassion for. But I can't. I would be remiss if I also didn't acknowledge that if he was in his right mind, perhaps he wouldn't even be in a position to where a motherfucker can even have their knee on their neck. You dig what I'm saying? I wouldn't even ever be in that motherfucking position. You dig what I'm saying? And that's not bragging or shitting on them. What I'm saying is that what conscious folk, what I feel you have to learn to do is to you can't you can no longer allow yourself to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You got to get tired of that trick. Otherwise, what's the fucking point of being conscious? What's the fucking point? What's the fucking point of being conscious if you're still continuing to allow that shit to fuck you up? I don't understand. To me, that makes no sense. To me, that makes no sense. You come to a realization that you God, and God is for a lack of a better term, because it's just a fucking concept of a mentality that you put yourself in for the pathway to realization and enlightenment. It's just a mindset. It's you recognizing yourself that you're in a prison, and you are now placing yourself in a position to where you can start making your way in the world that you're in. You can start taking control of that. That's what being God is. What you really are outside of this third dimension, what you are in this third dimension, what you truly are, is unknowable, it's undescribable to the human mind. You dig what I'm saying? So if the mind is all in the universe is mental, that means that even what happened to George Floyd, it's just a result. It's just a result of out of control mind. We in control of this shit. So who is truly the fucking blame, other than your mind being out of fucking control? I'm gonna have to call that buddy. But if I tried to send it, I don't think that shit went. I don't think that shit went. I think that shit like because the internet, the what do you call it? The my cellular connection around here is fucking trash. So I had to wait for like a couple weeks for them to finally come out here and completely reinstall the internet because they had to do it from the ground up. Because the previous owners, whatever, didn't have the shit. So, anyways, so my thoughts on George Floyd or anything that goes viral is by first of all recognizing that anything that goes viral, it was dictated by someone for it to go viral for a specific purpose. So you recognize the game, realize that it is a game, and it can only affect you if you are part of the fucking game. Pimping and hoeing can only affect pimps and hoes. That's the mentality you start to think or take on as a conscious person. Pimping and hoeing only affects pimps and hoes. So you need to analyze how the fuck you affected by that shit, and you're not even a part of that fucking game. You are under the idea that you're part of the game because you have bought into this idea that you're still a fucking slave. You dig what I'm saying? You still think you're a slave until you start and begin to relieve yourself of that slave like mentality. Is when you can begin to put yourself in a position to where you can see yourself as much fucking more. It don't matter how fine a bitch is. If she don't think she fine, then it don't even fucking matter. She can be fine as the day is long. And motherfuckers can tell her how fine she is as the day is long. But if she don't see herself as fine, she will always be contrary to that. Which I'm sure is motherfucking negative. You know what I'm saying? You got to see that shit in yourself. When you're studying and you're reading any book, It is a study of your own mind. You have to get that in your greasy head. Like what John Amos saying, coming to America to Daryl. Can you get that through your greasy head? You don't want it no more. That nigga was bogus as fuck for that. He used to kiss Daryl's ass. As soon as he found out that Akeem had his own money, he said, nigga, fuck Daryl. This nigga making US dollars. My precious Lisa is fucking with a nigga who makes his own dollars. Turn from that nigga just like that, nigga. That ain't it, boy. But that's how it is. John Amos became conscious to a degree. He realized that motherfuckers can live a lot better than himself. He had an idea of what success was being Mr. McDowell and owning McDowell's restaurant. He was at the pinnacle of this success. Perhaps his ambition was to get a chain of them, but he was a rich Negro. He was well off. He was living well, living in Queens, New York. He was a motherfucking baller. He looking at Daryl and his family. They own the hair product empire, Soul Glow. Niggas was balling. He was like, this is the pinnacle of success. This is the idea that I see for my daughters. I want them to marry a nigga like Daryl. Until a nigga like Hakeem came along. Ooh, big. Hakeem came along and came from the realm of chaos. You dig what I'm saying? Hakeem came from the moon. That nigga had his own money. That nigga had his own money. He said, fuck this shit, nigga. It's another level to the game. I'm going to motherfucking the moon. I'm going to the moon. I can see that there's levels to this shit. King Joffrey Joe Force showed up to that motherfucker. Rose barrel throwing petals and shit. King Joffrey got a lion across his shit. Hoes every motherfucking where. You dig what I'm saying? Hoes everywhere. Staff. Motherfuckers speaking, was spoken to, knowing when to speak and shit was fly as fuck walking in that bitch. He looked out of place. King Joffrey Joe looked out of place in that bitch. And that nigga was rich. John Amos, Mr. McDowell, was rich. King Joffrey walked in that bitch. He looked at that bitch like a resort that was less than his standard. Lovely cottage you have, motherfucker. Lovely cottage you have. Levels to this shit. Levels. You start to get into your right mind. You start to look at protests and shit like that. That shit becomes so fucking meaningless to you. That shit becomes so stupid. You be like, I don't even give a fuck about it. Why do I give a fuck? You start to let them have their princely robes, whatever the fuck. Let them work. Let them do that. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Why complain about a cat scratching a couch? You get what I'm saying? Why complain about your mate smoking cigarettes or whatever the fuck they smoke? They were smoking before they got with you. You see what I'm saying? You see how quick we get in front of ourselves based on our own bullshit, our own idiosyncrasy and shit. You just got to let go. Like I had a lot of bullshit when it came to a lot of shit. I had to let that shit go. I started to realize how the shit was affecting me. It affected my ability to progress consciously, spiritually. I started to see how that shit was fucking me up. I ain't like that shit. I ain't like that shit. I ain't like how that shit was fucking me up. Did my screen get bigger? Oh, no, I think this is it. Fuck. I'm new to this shit. I don't know. Fuck it. I have no grandiose idea as to where this shit gonna go. I have no idea. I'm just satisfied if one motherfucker starts to peer through the window of this prison, which is just their mind, and realize that this prison was created for them. You know what I'm saying? This prison was created for them to control them and to keep them in a certain place. I just I'm just interested in speaking to those who are trying to Shawshank Redemption this motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Shawshank Redemption and then Andy Dufresne this motherfucker. You're gonna have to dig through some muddy sewers, you know what I'm saying, to get through this humanity shit. You have to dig through some muddy sewers like on the Shawshank Redemption, which is through your thoughts and your life, and you always fucking yourself up about shit you never accomplished and achieved. You understand what I'm saying? By being too insecure to let your mate go, although you are completely unhappy with yourself, so you can't really treat the person with, you know what I'm saying, with the true love that will perhaps will be what is needed for a fruitful relationship. You can't really give that person that because you don't even love yourself. So you begin to resent that person because they fucking with your funky ass. Because you look at yourself like I'm not even worthy. I don't really see myself as worthy to be with or for someone to be with. And you still with me. I look less at you now. You understand? You see how this fucks up the cycle? This thing, you have to start doing self inner work. You got to become your best personal scientist. You dig what I'm saying? You must become your best personal scientist. You have to become extremely familiar with your own fucked upness. You have to become familiar with that shit and recognize that it's a result of your humanity, so you forgive yourself for it. You understand? You forgive yourself and say, man, I understand that shit happened to me. I understand that person did that to me. I get that they are under the same fucked up shit that I was under. I can see under I can see how they are capable of doing that, how my parents could have did that to me, how a loved one could have did whatever to you. You know what I'm saying? You begin to relieve yourself with this sense of compassion by recognizing that they are under this prison system of humanity, and they don't know it. You understand what I'm saying? But you are in a fortunate position to where you are able to analyze it, which I think is just such a fucking privilege to be conscious. It is so fucking. It is such a privilege. I felt it was. I felt at least I can do was talk on YouTube from time to time. At least you understand what I'm saying? Because this shit is so amazing. You understand? It's like it's always something new with this shit. Always something new. So I feel so privileged to be in this conscious shit and to have the mind in the way that I think. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I have compassion for the ignorance that they have of this of humanity and how it's fucking them up. You get what I'm saying? Eat. I can only put a little bit of this one at a time. This shit will burn a hole through your skull. Again, this is a tiger bomb. Hit that tiger bomb. You can get it at Target, wherever the fuck, Walmart, any motherfucking where. Get that shit, rub that shit on your third eye, right there between the brow, nigga. Yeet. Put your ass in the zone. Put you in that zone, nigga. Put you in that zone. So let's not fuck around with this shit. So once you are in that position where you can start analyzing protests and how it affects you and how it don't affect you, that's not the end all to be all. Having, you know what I'm saying? You could begin to even become stuck and arrogant in that, saying like, well, I'm not like those niggas in the street. You understand what I'm saying? Those are just sheep. You understand what I'm saying? You don't even want to get caught up in that. The idea is just to totally remove yourself from that entirely and just become focused on your own personal unfoldment. You know what I'm saying? Your own personal enlightenment. Is what I'm saying. It's kind of like if you are in the clouds, if you are in the clouds, let's say if you were living in the clouds and you had houses in the clouds and that was it was a civilization and you were just among the motherfuckers that's in the clouds. This is not saying that you're better than the ones that are on earth. Genetically, you're still the same. You know what I'm saying? Than your brothers and sisters. But however, you have reached this point, so to speak. This is just a metaphor or an analogy that you are living in the clouds. You understand what I'm saying? Like, will it make any sense to to you know what I'm saying? Like, get caught up in shit, in shit that has nothing to do with you. To get caught up in it. To 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 feel this need to look down upon people. Just recognize it as the observer, recognize it as the scientist, as a way as a way to reflect on your own consciousness. Look at it that way. You understand? Like that certain segment of reality had to exist so you can see what consciousness is. It's for your own transformation. So you can witness your transformation. You understand what I'm saying? On Vampire in Brooklyn, when Eddie Murphy, when he transformed into the pastor on Vampire in Brooklyn, I remember he said a line that stuck with me. He was like, "If every day is a sunny day, then what's a sunny day?" You understand what I'm saying? That made a lot of sense to me. If every day is a sunny day, then what's a sunny day? You really have nothing to compare it to. You understand what I'm saying? So these things must exist, but you don't want to get caught up in the whirlwind of that shit. You just look at it, you observe Donald Trump and all the bullshit he's doing, and all right, nigga, whatever. He's Donald Trump. He's supposed to do that. He's motherfucking Donald Trump. What did you expect him to do? Something different? Is it worth his weight in gold? Is this person that is causing me all this pain and anguish in my life, this girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, children, parents, are they truly worth is my personal anguish and their projection of how they think I should be coincided with how it's actually affecting me and the reality that I'm building around that, which is low self-esteem, which is the result of all this bullshit that you put up with on a daily basis. You have to fall in love with yourself so you can realize that it's no longer worthy of you anymore. Motherfuckers who fuck with you and be fucking your shit up and getting on your fucking nerves, it's no longer worthy of you anymore. You gotta fall in love with yourself in order to realize that. If you're a billionaire, let's just say it is quite likely. I'm not saying that you got to marry another billionaire. So this is a very general analogy. But let's just say that if you're a billionaire, unless you got with the person prior to getting money, it is very unlikely you will be in the area which you are at your worst looking for a wife or a husband. you will likely find that person somewhere else. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're somewhere, because you have removed yourself from that shit. You're doing something new. You get what I'm saying? That tiger bomb will have a nigga sweat. Boy, that shit be, ooh, hot, hot. That's a little working. It's too hot to trap, baby. Y'all quiet as hell. Let me look at these comments. Y'all quiet as hell. Y'all supposed to be in this bitch giving me some extra energy. I took a shot prior to, so I am feeling good. So I'm gonna time for shot number 2. Because I likely be off. Like, and I'm gonna be a little bit too lit. You know, I don't know if I'm ready to show that level of litness yet. I get it talking about all kind of shit. All kind of bullshit. Well, FWC got questions for Dave. Shit. I used to think I had questions. Well, I still do. Let me say that. One of the things is once you get in the habit of pursuing information for the point of personal transformation, you start to realize like how frequent you answer your own question. Just when you thought you had a question for a motherfucker, you'll find your answer. You'll be like, damn, thought I had. Then you'll realize you really ain't got shit to talk about besides this joke. That's all there's left is joke. Busting jokes and talking about this. Talking about what kind of food you like. That's I mean, what else the fuck is there to talk about? You did? But if you have a question, I will gladly answer. Ooh, I'm gonna choke in that motherfucking water. I'm gonna choke in that shit. You let your spirituality come in the front as the most important thing, everything starts to happen, man. I used to couldn't stand fucking water. Couldn't stand it. As I began to dig deeper of just knowing self, which is just understanding how the mind works, everything that's connected to that, and began to hold myself accountable for my shit, I started to desire for that which was unknown to me to take over in my life, to start making decisions for me. Because up to that point, I was doing it for a poor fucking job. You understand what I'm saying? I felt like I was doing a poor fucking job. And since I understand there was more to me than what was projected upon me, and more to me than what I accepted for myself, I began to desire for that higher part of me to be more in control. As a result of that, I started to like water. Prior to that, when I was out of control, I was drinking 2 cherry Cokes 20 ounces a day, 2 to 3 a day. Didn't give a fuck about water, couldn't stand water. I just started drinking water because I wanted to be healthier. It was just a result of my spiritual shit. I began to want to eat a little bit healthier. Food started to become boring to me. Like the shit that I was eating, all that shit I was eating, it was like so boring to me. I just became disinterested in food. I had no appetite for months. My lady will tell you. It was a simultaneous thing. We were both going through it at the exact same time. It was fucking amazing. Like we only thing we could eat was salad. That's all we had a taste for. You understand what I'm saying? For a while, we was just like, yo, like, food was just boring. I stopped drinking pop. Juice, juice became so fucking sweet. It was amazing how my taste buds just transformed. You did. Just transformed. It wasn't until recently that my taste buds started to return. I went to another level spiritually. You understand what I'm saying? Now I'm beginning to settle into that atmosphere just a little bit more. So now I can now I have more of a balanced way of eating now. You know what I'm saying? Now I know I eat a salad from time to time. You know what I'm saying? When I do eat meat, it's in moderation. Sometimes I fuck it up. Sometimes I fuck some chicken up. You dig? Sometimes I fuck some chicken up. Let me look at some F that. Why you retracting your messages, brother? There ain't no filter in this motherfucker. As long as there's respect, shit, nigga, you say whatever the fuck you want. Nigga, ain't no rules in this bitch. Shit. I shit. I went live. So I'm subject to whatever the fuck motherfuckers say in that bitch. I'm not interested in trying to control and moderate what motherfuckers say. I don't give a fuck. If I happen to see a person, if I happen to see some that I want to reply to, I'll just reply to it. But I'm not interested in trying to dictate what the comment should be about. You can talk about whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. You dig what I'm saying? You can talk about whatever you want in my comments. Shit, find you a bitch in that shit. Find you a nigga in that shit. I don't give a fuck. It's how y'all, these rigid ass rules are so stupid and they're so ridiculous. Stupid. That's not what we're going into in these end times, these quote unquote end times, these next realms that we're diving into. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand that these realms they ain't got these human laws, man. They ain't got these moral laws. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't got these moral laws. You have to get past that human morale so you can see what the spiritual realm entails. It says that do you control your past or is it infinite plan? Or is it infinite plan? Plan or plane or plan? Do you control your past? Is what F that is asking. You control your past. I mean, I can imagine it not being anything else. Even your ignorance is a choice. Even your ignorance is a choice. You choose to be susceptible to way this to the rules and the way this place was set up in order to keep you locked in. You start studying that archon shit, studying that 12 archon shit, the 12 angels, and the 12 or angles, nigga, that shit is some deep diabolical shit. You start looking at these deities a little bit different, nigga. Get into that archon shit. So I can say, how is the atmosphere in Atlanta with the tourism? Now that the country is opening up, I love it here in Atlanta. I love it. I love it. I love it. The atmosphere is so dope. The vibe is dope. A lot of black folk. A lot of black folk that are just cool. That's cool. That's just within themselves. It's just regular people. You know what I'm saying? Good old country southern mentality. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of open-minded motherfuckers. People, a lot of people just stay for themselves. It will be what you make it. For me, it's paradise. For me, it's paradise. Every time I walk into Publix, Walmart, Target, whether I'm with my lady or I'm by myself, I'm seeing just an abundance of beautiful sisters everywhere. That's her name. No matter where you go. To me, that's heaven for me. Black women, fuck it. It's not a place. There's not a place I can, unless I'm going to a fucking gas station, and even still, you might find yourself crossing the path of a beautiful goddess. So for me, the weather, I just love the weather. You understand what I'm saying? The vibe is cool. It has an international airport, so getting to places is easy. You dig what I'm saying? Atlanta got a lot going for itself. It has its cons. The cons I don't particularly care for is how spread out everything is. It seems like it takes forever to get anywhere. From town to town, it seems like every town is like 25, 30 minutes apart from each other. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I don't like. If you ain't got no car down this motherfucker, or if you don't have a way to get around, you'll be hit down this bitch. Because the metro system is not very extensive down this bitch. It's not like Chicago, it's not like New York or any major metropolis. You know what I'm saying? Even the town I grew up a lot of my life in, which is Minneapolis, Minnesota, they have a fantastic Minneapolis to St. Paul. They have an excellent metro system. Since we on time and shit. I gotta find my email. Hold on one second. Let me take a look. Shit. And I share it with you guys, so you know, I ain't got no problem chopping it up. What's my channel? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. So it's going to be Kenny Mansa, which is the first and last name of my YouTube channel. It's going to be Kenny Mansa, the number 88 at gmail.com. So if y'all got some hot shit, if y'all can send me some links and shit that can put me down, some some hot shit. I'm down to look at some shit. You know, so if you wanna find me on Facebook, I'm on Facebook. You did. Kenny Mansa. It should pop up along with my real name is Kenneth Robinson, but if you put in Kenny Mansa, it's gonna pop up as a nickname for my real name, and it'll pop up on there. And then I'm on. It's on Instagram, Kenny Mansa. You put in Kenny Mansa, that's just gonna pop up. Fuck that. And I have it as public, so you'll be able to see it's me. All the bullshit and debauchery on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the goal here is to help, is to pay it forward, help those just like others have helped me. Because ultimately, the goal and the idea is to, for whatever reason, to get the the right minds or enough minds open to push the new reality forward. So it's not necessary for the entire world or planet or every nigga to get this shit. It's just really necessary for those who are on the cusp of consciousness, let's just say, and is looking for more within their own personal journey just for themselves. That's the type of energy we need in order to push the next reality forward. You dig what I'm saying? To push that forward. Um, so, if I can help in any way, that's just what it is. You dig? Anyways, let me end this shit. I got everything back. Internet's back popping. So I would definitely be checking in more often and be rocking with you guys and showing more breakthroughs, more unfoldment as they begin to happen. Thing I'm gonna leave you with is just be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Like, don't get caught up in the whirlwind of comparing yourself to the individuals that helped you find enlightenment. Because if you can get caught in that, and it can stagnate your own progression. Because your ego will start to judge you based on your lack of experience. You just have to be patient with yourself as you sincerely continue to pursue this work. you will begin, these experiences will unfold for you. And those experiences will be based on your own personal intention. But your intention got to be pure as possible. You got to be pure of heart in this thing. Just understand what I'm saying? Really pure of heart. And that's going to come down to, you understand, what you are, what your true intentions are for this thing. You understand what I'm saying? Mostly, but you want to be in a position where you are sincere about it. Be real to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't torture yourself if you feel like you truly belong in the church. You understand? Like if you feel an anguish and pain from the fact that you left the church because you feel like this information is right, but you just can't get with it out of fear, man, don't put yourself through that. Don't put yourself through that. You know what I'm saying? Do what you feel is truly best for you, but do it in all sincerity. You understand? For me, I just want to know because there are realities. There is shit I want to witness. I want to experience it from this perspective of what I'm in right now. You understand what I'm saying? Like I want to go beyond my imagination, and I'm seeking out anything that can help me get there. Any piece of information, I don't give a fuck where it comes from. Anything that can get me there to unfold, I allow my spirit to dictate my direction, my mind. It help it. I'm always on point. Whatever book I pick up, anytime I open it to whatever page, it's always exactly what I fucking needed. Every time, every time. You understand? Every time is like that because I just allow it to unfold as I'm pursuing it with a sincere heart. You understand? Dig what I'm saying, Jack. But get me talking that jive shit like the motherfucking jive circus from the 70s, baby. Jack, what's going on, Jack? So yeah, man. So anyway, I'll holler at you Negroes later. You got my email, Kenny Mansa 88, which is my which, which is my favorite year. I don't know why it just is. I was born in '85, and my favorite year is '88. It's just something about that year, motherfuckers, was fly as fucking the year '88. 1988, baby. 88. Motherfuckers always talking about bringing '88 back. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite number, '88. Damn. So yeah, man. I'll holler at y'all Negroes later. You got the email, Kenny Mansa 88 at Gmail. Instagram, Kenny underscore Mansa. Facebook, Kenny Mansa. And I look forward to chopping up with you guys. And, peace.